Welcome to another Canucks draft special. My name is RevTrev, and I'm the creator and author of Kempner Canucks. And Canuck fans, we are excited about this draft. Of course, we're in the rebuild section. We're dead last. We know that losing equals winning for us, so it's all about what we can do here in the draft. So, as you know, or maybe you don't know, I've already been doing a draft series, and I've got a number of videos. One about maybe the Canucks should pick first or second overall. What happens if we get third pick? What should we trade back in the draft and have a strategy to do that? There's all kinds of scenarios and options for the Vancouver Canucks. And so what's weird about fans of a team is they kind of get locked into a couple players and they think, you know what, it's either this guy or bust. And that's just not true. There's a lot of great players in the draft. And so I'm really open to a lot of things. Like there's a lot of great players in that first 10 picks. And of course you want to have one of those top 2 picks, and I get it, but knowing the Canucks' luck, there's a very real possibility coming last place that they're going to get that third overall pick. Today's video is going to be talking about that late round pick that we're going to get from Minnesota that we already have, and who's available there. And there are some great wingers that I think that could be available. Many of us know that it's centers. Well, it's going to be Stenberg and McKenna. A bunch of centers and right-handed shot defensemen are very valuable, and what they do is they go up the board. They become a little bit more valuable than the others, and all these good wingers and even left-handed shot defensemen start getting pushed back into the draft. And there's a lot of video content on the early parts of drafts, maybe even up to number 20, but after that, it's hard to know. It's hard to say, because really, it's a bit of a crapshoot. You know what I mean? It's part of one of those things where you're sitting there and you're going, you know, all the big names, but there are some gems that are sitting there that could be a real blessing to any franchise. And if they're developed properly, the other thing is, this is an entry draft, right? This is an entry draft. It's not a, you know, we're going to draft these guys at the late rounds, and they're going to play next year and have major impact. Think about how long it took the Twins to develop, and they were a top 2 and 3 pick. Think about Bedard. Think about Celebrini and these guys. Like, some of them just jump right in and play, and then others take some time. It's an entry draft. It's not like the NFL where all the way up to the 3rd round pick they play. So today I'm going to be talking about that end of the 1st round pick, and really we got a second. We're going to be drafting early in the 2nd round as well. And then the next video I'm going to do is we're going to talk about 2nd round gems that we can find. So there's some forwards that I really want to talk about, but there's going to be a lot of D that I want to discuss as well. So buckle up. So glad you're here, and let's dive into it. How we draft here at the end of the 1st round will all depend on who we take in that first pick early on, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. Now, apparently the draft is loaded with defensemen at the end of the 1st round, and that's what the guess is, and that's what people are. It's their best guess, right? And I'm looking at this this list right here of forwards. And there's some really great guys there. I mean, if you look at, depending on where we're probably going to pick around 25 to, 32, really. And this is the elite prospects rankings of these guys. And I think this is the consolidated rankings. Again, a lot of places just have a top 32 and that's it. So it's hard to find video and information on a lot of these players, but I'm trying my best to dive in and do the research so you can have more of an informed way of looking at it. But if you look at this forward at the end of the 1st round, these forwards, like Roobroeck is a very solid pick there, Canadian boy. Klepov is he's such a dynamic player and scorer. And there's things about him that I really like. Rogowski seems solid. You got Cullen, you got Hextall. But one of the guys that I think that would be really good is Chrenko. I don't know if you watch Slovakia closely, but that guy seems dynamic to me. And maybe he doesn't have the size that you're looking for, but he definitely has the skill. And so there's that guy. But Canuck fans are all in on two players. And I'm going to get into the Ruck twins more in the next video. But it's like basically we want McKenna or bust, and we want the Ruck twins or bust. And there's no other options. And we're in a bit of a love affair with the twins because we had two twins that ended up being two of our best franchise players in our whole franchise, in our franchise, right? So I'm not opposed to drafting the Rucks. In fact, they are on fire right now for Medicine Hat Tigers, but I think there's also some really good talent on this thing that could be better, like just the size, or the skill sets. These guys are good as well. So I want to be careful before I'm saying it's the Ruck twins or not. Like maybe you get one of the Ruck twins and then you don't get the other one because someone else picks them higher. I mean, these guys are on fire. As you can see their stats right here. We're talking about basically 100-point players, really have turned it on in the last part of this season, and it's been really fun to watch. And so it's just cool to see. And of course, we know that the chemistry would be incredible, but like Chrenko, I would be very happy with. So let's dive into these defensemen, and it's a little complicated. I don't think a guy like Ryan Lynn is going to be there, or Smits, or there's another guy here. What am I looking at? Oh, Gustafson. I think those guys are going to be top 20 picks. But after you get to 20, I'm not sure where people have people. And so, for example, just making sure I say all these names properly, like Piiparinen, from Finland. He's 6'3", 203. Right-handed shot defenseman. Actually, look at all these guys, and they're all right-handed shot defensemen for the most part, right? Håkansson is definitely, I think he's 6'7", 207. Good defensively, not great offensively so far. And again, these guys are going to be projects. They're going to be 2-3 years down the road, right? And I know that some people are going to be mad about that, but it is what it is. Like, that's what an entry draft's like. So, Pantelus, a lot of people are like, oh, we just want Canadians. Okay, well, he's 6'2", 214 pounds. That's pretty good size for his age. And he just, he describes himself as very defensive with a bit of offense, but I've watched tape on him, and he can get that puck out of the defensive zone. He makes good first read, those kind of things. He's hit, very good defensively. These are the kind of guys. And it's like, well, where are they going to fit in the lineup? And are these the guys you want to do? And that's where it's kind of confusing, because everyone keeps saying there is these great defensive players at the end of the first round. But I'm like looking at it and like, there's a lot of offensive guys that I like as well, like forwards or centers. But if you look at this list, for example, there's 3 Slovakian players, 2 that are right-handed shot defensemen, 1 of the left-handed shot defensemen. So you got Dravecky, he's 6 foot 187, right-handed shot defenseman. He plays in the OHL. Vanecek is 6'2", 194, plays in the WHL, left-handed shot defenseman. Then you've got 57. That's pretty late, so that's now getting into my next video with Bleyl, and there's a lot of guys there that you might not know their names, but these are the scouts from Vancouver, the scouts around the league are looking at these players, and they're looking which of these guys are going to be actual NHL guys, not just a prospect. So a lot of times they're looking at the size, they're looking at the skating ability, they're looking at the physicality, they're looking at the skill sets. Size and skill, very important, right? And all these guys are super skilled. Like, at the end of the day, they're all being talked about first round, early second, and that is super important. So if the Canucks go a forward, whether they pick 1, 2, or 3, they're probably going a defenseman in the last half of the thing. But if they go, say, at 3 or even 2, maybe they like Verhoeff or Reed or something like that, some of those 2 elite defensemen, I can see them going with a forward at the end of the first round, and maybe, but there's a lot of talent there, and this is what I'm looking forward to. There is so little video and information on these guys because honestly, people just want to talk about the top 20, want to talk about the big boys, the top 3. There's video after video about McKenna, Stenberg, Verhoeff, a little bit, like there's quite a bit about Reed, Lawrence, Malhotra. You know, you got some Bjork. I love that kid, by the way. He is fantastic. There's all kinds of videos on these guys. But when it comes to the rest, like later on, plus 20, tough to find. I'm looking forward to, like, whatever we get at the beginning, it's great. But I'm really going to be dialed in to who we get with that Minnesota pick at the end of the round, first round. I'm going to be really dialed in to who we draft and those 2 players in the second round. So that's going to be my next video. Thanks so much for watching this. I hope it's been helpful. I know there's like a little bit of vagueness when it comes to some of these players, but when you're looking at these, a lot of right-handed shot defensemen, still a lot of offensive talent. And I know a lot of you are going to say, doesn't matter, I want the Ruck twins. I'll be happy with them too, but you're not just going to go only forwards for the whole thing. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned for my next video on the second round picks. Hope you have a great day. And of course, always believe in blue, go Canucks go. And let's embrace this rebuild and let's be excited for the draft.